What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Kevin with Optimize Essentials, and in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to optimize your water intake, all right? This is going to be part 1 of 6 in the series of how to achieve optimum levels of health, and we're going to start things off with the easiest one to execute, and that is to simply drink more water, but in an optimized way, okay? Now, why do I say this? Because there are certain things you can do to your water to enhance it so that it is more beneficial, so to say, for your body, all right? And we're going to be discussing that last. We're going to be actually discussing 3 things. Number 1, the symptoms of dehydration, all right? How to know when you're actually dehydrated? What are the things you should be aware of? And then number 2, what are the benefits of water? What does water actually do for us, okay? And then finally, number 3, how to optimize your water, how to do things to it so that you can get the most out of it. Because if you didn't know, there's a lot of mystical properties to water that we are slowly discovering. And if this is too woo-woo or too out there for you, then this video is not for you, and you should probably GTFO, all right? Click out now because it's about to get way out there, okay? So let's get started. What are the symptoms? What are the most common symptoms of dehydration that you need to watch out for and pay attention to? Because it's been shown that even a few percentages of dehydration will heavily impact your mental abilities, all right? That's one of the symptoms, but let's read the list so that we can be on point, okay? So dry mouth is the most common one. You have a sensation of dryness in your mouth or feelings of dryness in your body, tension in your body, tenseness in your muscles, just that cringy feeling where you just feel like you're tightening up. The shriveling sensation is a very common symptom of dehydration, all right? And then another one is constipation, but constipation can be related to just eating a bunch of literally garbage, eating a bunch of shit, right? A bunch of junk food that's clogging your system up, eating too much meat. A lot of things can happen or a lot of reasons can cause constipation, but dehydration is going to exacerbate that, because if you have a lot of junk in your gut and you don't have enough water to help push and flush that out, because it's been said the best solution to pollution is dilution, so you need more water, properly enhanced water, to get that flowing, right? So constipation is going to be a common one. Muscle cramps, because your muscles need fluid to, work, right? It needs to be turned on through proper hydration, proper fluid. And then you are always feeling tired, lethargic, and fatigue. I looked up, why does being dehydrated makes you fatigue? And they talk about how your blood, right? Your blood is made up of mostly water. And when you are dehydrated, it makes your heart work more in order for your body to perform. So if your heart is working more, you're going to feel tired, right? So make sure your blood has enough water content, all right? You're going to have problems with thinking, memory, and other cognitive abilities, because your brain literally shrinks when it doesn't get enough water. And that is also a big source of the next one, headaches. You'll get tension headaches. You might get headaches just because everything is tightening up in your body. Your brain is shrinking in your skull, and it's pulling, and it's like, everything just feels like it's breaking down. And then you might have really dank piss, all right? You might have dark urine. You might you'll pee less, and when you do pee, you won't pee that much. And when you do pee, it's going to be very dark. That's a very clear symptom that you are not drinking enough water or your body is dehydrated, okay? And then for more mind-blowing symptoms or mind-blowing causes of chronic disease, I want you to go into the description below and look for the PDF that says Your Body's Many Cries for Water. He literally describes really mind-blowing causes of chronic diseases that's related to being dehydrated, right? Like arthritis, having joint pain, stiffness, inflammation, even cancer is related to not having enough water in your body. And it's not a no-brainer, because what I'm about to read with you next, the benefits of water, or what water actually does, you'll quickly understand why. Because if you think about it, our body is made up of at least 2/3 water, you know, similar to the earth, right? 2/3, it's kind of crazy, right? The earth is one big cell and we're organisms within the big cell. That's kind of crazy to think. But anyhow, I want to go on a tangent. Water is what they describe in chemistry, right, as, I think it was a solvent. But basically, if you have a bunch of chemicals or you have a bunch of powder, in order for the chemical reaction to occur, you need to mix some water in it, and instantly it goes psh. Well, in order for your body to have those chemical reactions, in order for your cells to perform, in order for cellular function to be at its optimal state, it needs to have that solvent, or it needs to, I don't know what the word I'm looking for. It needs to have that chemical. It needs to have that binding process, which is water, to activate that process. So what does water do for you? I'm gonna put up an image here so you can see this yourself, but this is what water does, all right? It's needed by the brain to manufacture hormones and neurotransmitters. It helps regulate the body temperature through sweating and respiration. It acts as a shock absorber for the brain and spinal cord. It helps convert food to components needed for survival, also known as digestion. It helps deliver oxygen all over the body. Water is the major component of most body parts, also known as your organs and muscle tissue. It helps lubricate joints, flush body waste, mainly through urine. Allows body cells to grow, reproduce, and survive, keeps mucosal membranes moist, and it forms saliva, which helps with digestion. So as you can see, water is very, very, very important, all right? And one last thing before I teach you how to optimize the water intake, I want you to think of your body as a pond, all right? If you've read this article on my website, you probably have heard this before, but think of your body as a pond. When it's not getting enough water, when you're dehydrated, think of that pond being this icky green and full of nasty algae, right? It's just filled with parasites and it's just, there's a bunch of gunk inside. And then when you properly hydrate your body, think of it as like a beautiful pond where there's lily pads growing and there's a bunch of creatures in it that's flourishing and having fun. There's more of life in this one, and the other one is filled with toxic sludge that you don't want, all right? So that is what I want you to think about your body as when you are feeding it a bunch of junk and not getting enough water to dilute the pollution, okay? So with all that being said, how do you actually optimize your water intake, okay? Now, there's gonna be a lot of controversy behind this. There's gonna be a lot of this is right, this is wrong. This is what I have found to be true for me. This is the research I have done. I've trusted other people with their research. So if this doesn't ring true for you, then feel free to experiment, because at the end of the day, if you're conflicted over who to believe, the best way is to just experiment, right? Try it on yourself and see what makes you feel better, all right? And if you don't know, then your awareness isn't developed enough to kind of understand what's going on in your body, and that's probably why you're unhealthy, okay? So with that being said, let's go into how to optimize your water, all right? So to optimize your water, what you want to do is first, you want to get reverse osmosis water, because reverse osmosis is basically stripping all the bad and the good stuff out. So you have the properties of water is it kind of opens itself up and absorbs the structure of what it's contained in. If you've ever heard the Bruce Lee quote, "Be like water, my friend. When you put water in a teacup, it becomes the teacup. When you put water in a jug, it becomes the jug."
I said, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
Well, whatever happens to water that's why in the water experiment by Dr. Masaru Emoto, he shows that when you think negative thoughts to the water and you send positive thoughts to the water, the structure of the water changes. So when you basically reverse osmosis water, you're basically stripping the water down to its very basic essence, H₂O, right? Now, if you just drink reverse osmosis water by itself, what has been shown through the World Health Organization is it leaches the minerals from your body to, kind of balance everything out. So if you drink too much reverse osmosis or filtered water or distilled water, it's actually going to have detrimental effects on your health if you aren't getting the adequate amounts of minerals through a proper diet, all right? So if you're unhealthy and you're eating a bunch of junk and you're drinking filtered and distilled water, that's just going to cause more problems. So what you want to do is, yes, get filtered water, but then you want to remineralize it, which I like to do with a pinch of Himalayan pink salt or higher quality sea salts like Celtic salt, all right? Because there's some controversy behind whether or not pink salt is not toxic, but if there's any pollutants in sea salt, maybe because they mined it somewhere where there's some contaminants. It's hard to say, I don't know, but I've also read that it's such a minute amount, even if it is, like, think about how small salt is, and within the salt itself, unless all of it is contaminated, which I doubt, there's only going to be very small amounts of contamination within the pink salt, so it's not that big of a problem. The benefits outweigh the risks, because when salt, it has a bunch of trace minerals, and that is going to help structure your water, right? The mystical properties of water, just like the sending good positive thoughts to your water, that's going to help structure your water so that it works with your body better, rather than pull the what's it called, electrolytes out of your cells to balance it out, or the minerals out of your cells. So another thing you can do is, for electrolytes, you can squeeze some lemon into your water. So you can do some salt and fresh squeezed lemon juice, swirl that around, and then drink it, and then that'll keep you nicely hydrated for hours to come, because lemon has been shown to have an alkalizing effect on your body. Same with the sea salt or pink salt. And then finally, the most esoteric, the kind of out there woo-woo stuff that some of you guys might reject or kind of close off to, which I'm still going to mention because I think it's brilliant. I've been trying it recently and it seems to be working. It's to charge your water, right? How do you charge your water? Because water has memory, it's like consciousness, it has memory. You can charge your water with positive emotions, positive intentions. What I like to do is I play 432 hertz to my water or to my fermented vegetables, and it sets that loving intention that this is going to nourish my body, this is going to fuel my soul, right? This is going to nourish my soul, nourish my being, nourish my mind, so that I can make these videos. So the idea behind charging your water, either through crystals, through putting it under moonlight or sunlight, is to absorb the healing properties that it is being kind of charged with. That's why you charge your water with these different properties. Now, some people, when you bring up crystals, right, like stuff like this, crystals, oh yeah, he uses crystals, people are like, what, this guy is a maniac. But I found that as I became more conscious, as I became more healthy, and what I'm sharing with you here, I became more sensitive and in touch with these subtle energies of life. And crystals, to me, they ring true. Vibrations, energy work, that rings true, because these are the subtle forms of higher energy, higher planes of existence that people who are less conscious, who are less healthy, can't feel, can't see literally, and can't understand and wrap their minds around. Because it's just like, think of it like this. There's certain property, like, actually, okay, have you ever heard those dog whistles where it's a very high pitched? Well, there's some frequencies that our ears can't hear, but the animals and insects can, and it drives them nuts. Well, as you become more healthy and you become more sensitive, you can start to pick up on certain energies that people can't, and this is the stuff I'm talking about. So those are the 3 ways that you can charge your water. Add some, I would say a fourth of a teaspoon of the pink salt or the Celtic salt into about, a liter to 2 liters of water, and just shake it up, make sure it's nicely mixed in there. So I would just say a fourth. You don't have to make it super salty, just enough so it can kind of dissolve and give its properties to the water. And then adding some lemon juice, optional. I like to use lemon juice when I eat food because of the digestive enzyme. So I don't always put lemon in my water, only when I'm eating. And then finally, charging your water with your positive intentions, your positive thoughts. And then I want to end things with things to avoid, okay? I kind of skipped over this. But what you want to avoid is tap water, okay? Do not drink tap water. Tap water, first, it tastes disgusting. And then also, there's a lot of contaminants within your tap water that you do not want to be drinking, okay? So that's a big no-no. And I wouldn't even get like Brita filters and filter your tap water. Just go get reverse osmosis and then charge it and put minerals in it yourself, okay? And then in terms of alkaline water, I can't comment too much on it because I've heard both sides to it. In my opinion, synthetic, I don't want to call it fake alkaline, but like alkaline water that hasn't undergone its natural process to become alkaline isn't going to have the same effects, right? Like, for example, if you just put baking soda or you just, scientifically manipulate it to have alkalinity, that's not going to have the same effect as if you drink spring water from the Alpine or from the Fiji mountains. It's completely different because it's been charged through a different process, okay? So it's hard to say where my stance is on alkaline water, but I've heard both that it doesn't really do anything for you and that it's good for you as well. But in my opinion, the best way to find out is to try it. And I feel that when I drink alkaline water, when it's from high quality sources like Evian, Fiji water, and like water that's actually been through its natural process of alkalinization, I do feel a difference, right? It feels more calming, it feels more hydrating. But at the same time, if you drink too much alkaline water, that could mess up your digestion, your stomach acid. Who knows, right? The best way is to experiment with it. I've heard the good and the bad. So do what works for you. Try all of these out yourself. And then some other things I want you to caution over is to, if you're going to try to hydrate yourself, don't drink too much diuretics, all right? I'm not saying don't drink any at all because I still drink coffee. I drink, hard kombucha every now and then. And then I drink, caffeinated stuff. So alcohol, coffee, caffeinated drinks, all these are diuretics. It's going to make you pee more. If you're trying to hydrate yourself, trying to get healthy, minimize your intake. And then drinking too much distilled or reverse osmosis water, as again I mentioned, it leaches minerals from your body. So those are things you kind of want to watch out for and avoid. And if you want more resources, I'll put some descriptions down below on your body's many cries for water, the World Health Organization on why you should stop drinking so much filtered reverse osmosis water, because if you're a healthy individual and you don't have the micronutrients, the vitamins and minerals on board, drinking filtered water may potentially make your health problems worse, okay? So guys, I know this was kind of a long video, but there's a lot of properties to water that I needed to discuss, and I hope that by bringing awareness to the power of water, you are more in touch with the life juice that you're getting, all right? Life force is going to be breathing, but life juice is going to be what fuels your body consistently and gives it that fluidity, that pliability in the muscle, right? That jiggliness in the muscle because your body is hydrated. Oh, one little test. Supposedly, if you are dehydrated, if you pinch your skin and you let it go and it stays up, that means you're dehydrated. But if you pinch it and it goes back to normal, that means you are hydrated, baby. So guys, this was almost 20 minutes long. I hope you learned something out of it. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. Stay hydrated. Most of us are just simply fucking hydrated, and that a lot of the symptoms that we experience is simply because we're dehydrated. So drink more charged water, drink more slightly salted water, and let me know how you guys feel, and keep a look out for the rest of the series. Next up is going to be nutrition, how to optimize your nutritional intake, how to eat for optimum health that other people can feel. Yeah. All right. You guys have a good one. Peace.